my life has been this hard, like my childhood and everything, to build me for who I'm gonna become.
You take responsibility for your life, and that's the power finger. You can point it, hey, that's his fault, or I could say it's my fault. Who has the power? If I point myself, I got the power to make a change. But if I
Mhm.
give the responsibility somewhere else, you're done.
Now we sold 1 million off copying the door to door, the setup cost script, et cetera, et cetera. Now this year we're going for 3 million, and now we're implementing everything.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Lead the Field, a trade launch podcast. I'm your host, Justin Georgopoulos, and on today's episode, we have a very unique guest. This is a 20-something-year-old that quit his cushiony day job to start his own contracting business. He started Fine Line Home Solutions out in Seattle, a painting business, and took it from zero to over $1 million in his first year in his business, utilizing door to door, the old school door to door, as his only way to get leads. So you're going to hear his story, you're going to see the challenges he's faced and the grand vision for his company and how he's planning on running it remotely and the systems that he's putting in place. Very, very interesting, especially if you're in the painting space or in the contracting space, how you can take a company at zero and scale it very quickly without being on the tools, getting stuck in production, getting stuck in sales. So tune into the episode, take some notes, and welcome to Kevin from Fine Line Home Solutions. So I already told the audience here how you went from zero to $1 million your first year using door to door. But I want to go back before you started the painting business. What was Kevin like? What was he doing? Where were you working? What's the story, brother?
Let's see, like how far back? Like from like after high school or?
Sure. Yeah, let's go. Let's start there.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. So I graduated high school. I was not a very good student. I graduated with 1.8 GPA. That's not my proudest accomplishment, but at least I graduated.
Uh-huh.
I worked for a painting company for like what, like a month, and I remember I drove like 2 hours deep into the boonies to grab a $200 check, and I was like, oh no, this is bullshit. So I quit, and then I worked like a little bit of retail at the mall and stuff like that, like a little bit of engineer work for a subcontractor of Boeing because that's huge here in Seattle.
Hmm.
And then I was like, okay, I need to just figure out like what my path is gonna be. Like, how can I make as much money as possible, and what am I good at? And so I remember I worked at the mall, and I really love I liked that job a lot, but I didn't like the money, obviously. And I was like, okay, I like cars. I like the mall. That's kind of sales in a way. I was like, okay, let's go into car sales. And so I got into car sales. I remember my 6 months, I didn't make any money. I rode my car. I got in a bad car accident about 6 months in, and I was like, okay, I need to make some money. And then I made my first commission check, which was like $4,000. And then I never looked back. And then from there, I really just got addicted to sales, and I really just made a determination of mine to get just really good at it. Fast forward 4 years in car sales. I saw a car to a guy. His name's Aaron. Owns a painting business. He was doing about 800K a year at that point. He's like, hey, I'm looking for my first estimator. And long story short, I was like, fuck it, I have just nothing to lose. Like, let's go try it. I'm done with car sales. I don't want this to be my future. And then I went into it, and my life changed financially, mentally, and spiritually. I think that Aaron's a very smart guy in the sense of like he's very like calm and relaxed in high stress situations, which I really admired. He was a healthy guy. And then the financial aspect, I was like, dude, this is crazy. This is way easier than car sales. And I'm here making 20 or 30K a month on like my biggest months. I was like, this is insane. Then fast forward just through my third year there, Jose was there. I had hired him. I was a manager by that point. My pay plan got cut just dramatically because I made too much money when Jose came in because he killed it. He's a killer as well. And I was like, okay, well, now at this point, my money is getting controlled by someone else. I was already just kind of unhappy with kind of like, I don't know, it's my path to growth. I think a bunch of
Hmm.
things just kind of added up, and I was like, no, I got to start my own business. So
So
I
how old were you when you started your own business?
So I was let's see, 27. I was 24 going on 25, 25. I want to say I was 25, 27. No, 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 I was 26.
Mhm.
I think I was 25 going on 26. That's what it was.
Got it.
And yeah, and I told him, I was like, hey dude, I'm gonna start my own business at the end of the year, but I'll stay with you until September, October, until the busy season dies down, and then I'm just gonna skedaddle. And then I quit my job. I was very stupid financially, had no money. and my girlfriend was in car sales as well. I was like, fuck it, just quit your job. And she quit her job, and she was a killer as well. And then a week later, we find out that she's pregnant. We're like, what did we just do?
Wow.
Yeah, it's like just a some story. It's like
Dude, that's
the
good. And
big.
it's like it's funny because whenever I go through something like this, I haven't had a baby yet. Well, I quit my job, but I've been through some hard shit too. And what's helped me is thinking this would be a great story for a podcast someday. And so, here you are telling the story. You got through it. So, what was that first year in business like? So, you start the business, you open up the LLC or the S corp, whatever you decide to do there. What happened there? What'd you like? What'd you
Yeah.
learn? What'd you start doing?
Okay, so Jose ended up he left that job too. So him and I started our business together. But Jose, he has a family as well. He has like a daughter and stuff to take care of. Um, and he was still working at AV Painting. I was like, you know what, bro? I think it's just better if we just kind of go our own separate ways. You start your business when you can, I'll start my business when I can, and just help each other. Let's just have that friendship of helping each other. Then I started my business. I knocked on a couple of doors with no experience, without knowing about you yet. And I was like, man, like this is tough. And then Jose, I think, was actually the one that found you on Facebook. And he's like, dude, like I just signed up with Justin. He has like this whole just door to door program. I think you should check it out. And then I checked it out, and you were given a bunch of like free knowledge, dude. I had no money. And I joined that and that Tanner the Tanner Mullen thing,
Hmm.
like that thing he
Yeah.
does.
Hmm.
And dude, I remember I was like taking notes, taking notes. I was like, okay, this is great. I can't believe that they're giving all this knowledge for free. And I pretty much just implemented that playbook. And then I think in March, like by March, by the beginning of March, I had hired a few guys. I was like, okay, guys, this is the plan. We're gonna go hard. I'm gonna pay you commission. I got the whole script right here from Justin, et cetera, et cetera. And I think, yeah, and then March was our first over 100K month. So we went from like 20K or 30K a month to over 100K immediately
Hmm.
from just implementing all of that, which was just gnarly.
Which was free,
Free
right?
knowledge,
So
free
that's a
knowledge.
huge thing that I want to add in. Like, there's so many free resources out there. Like, I have a free community on school where guys can just come in, learn the whole door-to-door playbook, learn the scripts, learn everything. But most people don't take advantage of free stuff. They're like, it's free. Like, maybe they take the notes, but then they don't take action. So what separated you is you took the free knowledge that you got from me and other people and just implemented it. What
Yeah.
what was your driver? Like, why were you so fired up to go? Was it because of the baby? Was it because of the wife quitting? Was it because of your dreams? Was it fear pushing you? Was it like the goals pushing you? What was driving you at that time?
Did everything that you just said. I remember like just like all throughout that winter. Just keep in mind, I'm making like 20K a month, and my girlfriend's making over 10K. We got a pretty good life. We're young, got nice cars and stuff. Had the nice cars, and then we just left it all, right? I got myself into massive credit card debt to pay bills and stuff like that. And but that whole time, dude. I think that this is the power of books. Like The Way of the Superior Man was a
Mhm.
huge life-changing book for me. A couple other books. But me and her have been good financially and been happy. And at this point, we were like broke as fuck financially, and we were still happy,
Mm.
which was so powerful. And the belief that we had, we're like, huh, that's so funny that we never thought that we would be broke again. And that's so funny that we thought that we would never have bad credit again. And here we are. Ah, it's so fucking funny. And
Mm.
I think it's just that belief that we had that things were going to work out. And then life itself, God itself, or maybe just it happens to everyone. But I saw all this as an opportunity. When I heard of Justin, I'm like, dude, how old are you? 24 years old? Your business is doing a couple million? What? How's that? Dude, you're 24. I'm 26. Like, I'm way behind track. And I think like just that motivating factor and seeing guys like you, Lucas, Tanner, all these guys that are making it in a way, I'm like, okay, I can do this. Like I know I can do this. And yeah, I took the notes. I just had to figure it out. I had no money to spend into any coaching, nothing. And I was like, this is the best that I can do. I already had a little bit of knowledge from from my previous experience.
Mhm.
I knew like sales, I knew like the model in a way. I knew like our sales script was pretty much just dialed in on the estimator side. I had a presentation, I had all these things. but I was like, okay, like I'm not an estimator anymore. I'm an actual business owner. How am I gonna do
Mm,
this?
mm,
And I think I got kind of lucky as well. Like just my personality within itself is kind of like the influencer type.
mhm,
So like on the disc profile,
mhm,
and I think I was actually able to like hire guys like Steven, which you know, and Jenna at the time, and Shomley and Valentina, who's my COO now. And I was actually able to like sell them on the vision and like, hey guys, this is what we're gonna do. There's not gonna be anything small.
mhm.
And and yeah, I mean,
Okay.
but surely.
So that was last year, right? That you really started.
Yeah.
Okay.
March of last year was when
March of
we
last year. So you got some free knowledge and then you joined the actual trade launch program. We started actually training your team now on weekly calls, getting the role play going for the door-to-door guys, for the sales, helping you structure all the back end stuff, the hiring. What has been some of your biggest takeaways from when you actually joined the program to now? We both grown a lot. Like now I'm 26, you're 28 now? 20,
27. Yeah, I'm 27.
27. So we've grown a lot together. We've got to work together for the over almost 2 years now. What have been some of the biggest takeaways that you've utilized and implemented that have helped you with trade launch?
Okay. I drastically saw my closing percentage and my time wasted percentage go up on the closing percentage and down on the time wasted percentage when I implemented the setup call. Dude,
Mm,
like something as simple as a setup call script made such a huge difference. Just prepping the customer, doing the pre-close on the phone.
mhm,
Like who am I dealing with? What is going to be their objection? Okay, it's price. Okay, here. I think that that was huge, and that's something so small. But it's the little things that add up. I've came to notice. It's not like the big things. Like the big things are important, obviously, but it's like all these tiny things that make the biggest difference.
mm,
Um, let's see. So the setup call, obviously, just the consistent drilling. Just every Wednesday we're there drilling. Tyler is an absolute stud. I also really liked the Mindset Mondays calls. Like, I mean, those are needed.
mhm,
It's not easy being in this position or even being in a salesman position of canvassing. It's hard on the mind. So much value there. And by this point, we've pretty much just copied everything that you have provided us. It's a lot. Everything from the start to the bottom, we've copied exactly what you did. And we'll change a couple of things here and there, but you literally give the playbook right there. And like I remember in the beginning, I was like, damn, like just however much I was paying, I don't remember, but I was like, damn, that's kind of a lot of money. But in the grand stream of things, I was like, oh, like now we sold 1 million off copying the door to door, the setup cost script, et cetera, et cetera. Now this year we're going for 3 million and now we're implementing everything. So
mhm.
like it's not expensive. The
Yeah,
ROI on that is like it's not it's not
I know.
really like
I
you
just
could
had
say.
a guest before. He's like, dude, you gotta charge more. And I was like, all right, sure. So if someone's watching this, maybe the price is going up. Who knows? But aside from trade launch, like what would you say to other people who aren't in trade launch that maybe are hesitant to join or are hesitant to even invest in themselves? Like what made it so kind of I know it wasn't easy for you to invest in yourself, but it takes a certain type of personality to like invest in a coaching or invest in like events, right? Not everyone does that, especially in the contracting space. So what advice would you give to someone that's kind of hesitant on investing in the development and the systems?
Yeah, I think okay, so what would I say to someone? I think you should do it. I mean, what are you gonna lose? Like you're gonna lose a little bit of money? I don't know. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't like that mindset. Like I like the mindset of like you always have to educate yourself. There's guys like Justin out here that are 25, 26 years old killing it. You don't think he knows something that you don't know? There's something that he knows. There's some value there. And like it's kind of like a cheat code. Like if you have a credit card, you close one deal, take the profit from that, invest a couple $1,000 or whatever it is into Justin's program. That's like the ROI on that's just gonna be ridiculous. And I think on the first year, I went kind of crazy on events and I went kind of crazy on like the coaches and stuff like that. And so there is a little bit too much, but I
Hmm.
think like actually from each event, I did get value from it. Like from my worst event from last year, I came back with a little bit of value that I think probably made me the most, or maybe some networking.
Right.
Trade launch specifically and like just coaching groups like that. I just don't see like, okay, like I met Justin. I'm like, okay, I like him. He's clearly a very smart, confident guy. Okay, his business is doing great. Oh, he's also working another business and he's 25. Like, okay, this guy's doing something right. His mindset is levels above me. Let's learn from it. I think
Dude,
that's
I would actually challenge the mindset thing, dude, because sure, business growth, but you have a lot going on, man. Jobs, cushiony job gone, pregnant, wife quits job, right? That's a lot to bear with, and that would crumble most men 100%. They would fall right back down to what's the easiest path of resistance. The fact that you could laugh at that and take that is like that is something that you have, bro, in your soul. That's like literally gold. That I think that's why a team is attracted to you because you can be that captain in the storm, and you see the crazy stormy seas exactly we looked up to your old boss, and that's you now, right? And
yeah.
and it's just so inspiring to see, man. When we first started working, it's like your mindset hasn't really changed, but all that's changed is just you just took action, developed the systems. And I can't take credit for that because like I've had guys come in the program and not done anything with it, and it didn't work, and I've refunded them, be like, bro, you're just not a hard worker. It just and you can see the certain type of people that come into the program. Like I just had John on before, and he also hit 1 million and tripled his business to 3, and it's the same thing. He just took action. So um, what are things right now that like you're working on that you feel like are like challenges to your growth to hit this 3 million? Because I know we just had a conversation privately about some changes you have to make. What is that looking like right now? Where are you at in the business?
Yeah. Is it okay if I just touch base on what you just said real quick?
Yeah, 100%.
Because I think that's important. Just that mindset. I am convinced that everyone in this life, every man and woman in this life has gone through some shit.
Mhm.
And like everyone has struggled, but the only difference is your mindset. I wasn't always like this. I was the victim mindset for a little bit when I was a
Mhm.
teenager and stuff like that. But it came to a point where I was like, okay, like my life has been this hard, like my childhood and everything, to build me for who I'm gonna become. And
Mhm.
then I tie that in with faith in the path that God or the world has me on. And then there's just nothing that can beat you. Like
Mhm.
when you have that faith, it's not, there's nothing that can stop you. And that's the true fact. So for anyone here that's watching, that's like, damn, that's pretty cool. How did you do that? You just got to believe in yourself and you just got to change your perspective to say everything that happens to me is for who I'm going to become. And my goals are going to become a reality.
Wow.
So I just wanted to touch base
Wow.
on that real quick, but in terms of okay, so you asked, okay, so now I'm on the path of going for 3 million and kind
Yeah.
of going on right now.
Yeah. What's happening?
Yeah, dude, it's a lot. So yeah, just not get too deep.
Yeah. You don't
I
have to
think
go.
that life is forcing me to grow once
Mm.
again, right? That mindset.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so I'm here in Seattle, Washington. We're gonna have to move to Boston, just for medical things going on in my family.
Mhm.
And my initial thought was like, damn, I'm gonna have to let this go. And my second thought was like, fuck yeah. This is
Mhm.
gonna be fantastic. This is gonna make it even better. Like you told me the other day, dude, the story's gonna be fantastic. Yeah, it is. So right now I'm in the process of actually just delegating every single position and systemizing the whole business. I got blessed with people like Valentina, who's a stud. She kills it. The whole production is dialed in. Operations, KPIs, datas. Thanks to your help as well, because she definitely studied your trade launch. Thanks for that. We have Steven, who's a stud. He's focusing on the canvassing. He actually says, Kevin, I want to be a canvasser manager. I want to build this team. I want to learn how to hire, how to train. I want to build that team. I'm like, perfect. Here's that. Does sales rabbit software for him and a few other things. Data is what we're focusing on. How to make everything automate is kind of what we're
Mhm.
working on right now. Now I'm still doing the estimates, and every time I give off that position to someone else, it hasn't worked out.
Mhm.
So I've done that twice. I did that last year, and then I think I overworked the girl at that time, and it didn't quite work out. So then I had to go back. Then I promoted a couple of guys to it. I think that it wasn't necessarily their fault. I actually blame that one. I blame both on me, but that one specifically on me, because I don't think I prepped them correctly
Mhm.
to be good estimators. So
Mhm.
I can't blame them. And then it didn't quite work out. One guy went back. Steven's still here, chemistry manager. He wants to do that. So right now, I'm in the process of delegating the estimator position.
Mhm.
So I'm putting myself in like, okay, if I'm an estimator, and a salesman only, what do I need to be as successful as possible?
Mhm.
And that would be the daily training. That would be like the Rilla voice recording. Have you heard
Mhm.
of that one?
Yeah.
So just recording every single interaction, having your manager just listen to it and hold you accountable. Hey, I noticed that you didn't trial close on this one. If you would have
Mhm.
trial closed, I would have just done this.
Mhm.
And then proper training and maybe training from other guys that's not just you. Because I got some good knowledge in sales,
Mhm.
but there's different perspectives like you, right?
Mhm.
So I hired you for those few other sessions,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So that's really what I'm working on right now. I'm just working on systemizing the whole business, on KPIing the whole business, and being able to run it, and then have like just the daily training. I think that's going
Mhm.
to be huge. And then just
Yeah, and I want to chime in here because I think this is a good opportunity to give some real-time value for guys listening to this. Like I know we had a call, I was going for a ruck the other day, and you and I were talking on the phone about, okay, what's our plan for onboarding these sales reps and to do it remote. And the first thing is dumping product knowledge into ChatGPT. Top products of paint we use, top products of caulking we use, and then asking ChatGPT to make this in a very simple onboarding form that someone can read to identify exactly what products they need because product knowledge is important. Okay, and also these preps. So we go on the PCA Academy. We find these free videos on paint training. They need to watch that as part of their onboarding so they can see exactly on how to what does preparation look like because like a lot of people say it's not necessarily the product that sells the client, but especially when you work on someone's home and you have the confidence to identify house anatomy, be able to know the house anatomy as a sales rep, explain what you're going to be doing on the job, and know the right products. That is so important, especially in the contracting space, because anyone can go and quote a job and say this is how much it is. But when the customer starts asking questions or you start educating the customer on what they need and exactly how the process can be done, the objection handling can be a little bit weaker at that point. But just the value and the understanding can sell projects. And I think that's where a lot of people misguide onboarding estimators. They just go to teach them sales training, but they don't teach them the product. So I know
right.
that's what we're working on. We're getting those onboarding sheets ready, and then I'll be training them on the actual closing and handling objections. But you and I together, we're gonna make some killer estimators, bro. And especially the fact that you have the mindset and the leadership development that you've already done internally. That's gonna be exciting. So if anyone's listening to it, ChatGPT is huge. Dump your thoughts into it. Dump your processes. Dump your products that you use. Dump the process how you do the work and ask it, build me a sheet for my estimators I'm going to hire so they can have a simple sheet. And then that's a sheet that you can laminate, put in their truck. They can always reference it, especially depending on the project. They see the notes on the estimate on their calendar. Okay, this is exterior, do. I need to really make sure I'm using the right language, the right product knowledge, and I'm just going to go and become this homeowner's best friend. Learn about how long they lived here, but also trickling in this expert knowledge. And that's exciting, man. It's pretty simple. We got the job ads up. You already got 2 guys you're interviewing. So now it's just really kicking that gear up and getting the onboarding going.
Exactly. And ChatGPT is huge. That has been a cheat code. That is
Yeah.
insane. I remember when my teachers would tell me, "You're not gonna have a calculator in your real life job." Now we
Yeah.
have ChatGPT, baby.
And
Way
now you're
more.
making more than them. But no, it's funny, man. It's funny how all the stuff you learn and like even the other day I was with one of my sales guys. He was quoting like this massive church, and we're looking at the wall, it curves and the ceiling curves, and we're like, okay, we got to go back to Pythagorean theorem. Like this is the one thing that we might need to learn again. But no, man, yeah, ChatGPT is huge. Like even the color renderings or the design renderings. Like now, one thing we do in our sales process is we present the quote. So after we do a walk around, and this thing I'll be training your team on, we take photos of the house. Okay, we go back into our card, write up the quote, we figure out the colors the client might want to see or the design the client might want to see, put in ChatGPT, get it to render it automatically. We sit back inside, we go through the client manual, build some rapport with them, show them the work we've done, present the quote, and as soon as we hit that number of what the price is going to be, we go instant, we switch over the screen to the renderings. So they don't sit because like a lot of times we build up all this value and then you present the number and they get a little sticker shock because we're expensive, right? The way I
Yeah.
train everyone in trade launch is up your pricing. But as soon as you hit that price, swipe over to dream outcome, and they go away from expense and cost thinking to result thinking. Boom, and then it helps get the sale. So that's something that we're just installed in ChatGPT. Just unlocked this like 3 weeks ago or a month ago to take
Wow.
real life photos and get renderings right on the spot. Um,
Wow.
so we'll be talking more about that, but that's been working really well for us.
Wow.
And man, it's using technology, using coaches, using systems is what you're gonna need to succeed in 2025 for contractors listening. Um,
Dude.
so I wanna go into some books that you're reading because a lot of the things that you've been able to accomplish, yes, trade launch, yes, systems, yes, coaches, all that, but it's also the internal not the internal battle every day as a business owner. So you said Way of the Superior Man. What other things that have you like indulged on in terms of leadership or books that you found made a big impact?
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. I have read and listened to a decent amount of books. Let's see. I'm just gonna tell you like the ones that really like I'm like, wow, that changed my perspective. So
Mhm.
The Way of the Superior Man was like one that I read like 5 times. I think I didn't really have a father figure growing up, and I didn't really know what a man was supposed to be. And I feel like that book just really changed my perspective on that. Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. That book
Fire.
was insane, insane. Insane. I
Mhm.
highly recommend everyone to read that book.
It's on YouTube too. It's just like a 4 hour, I think, it's like interview with the devil, outwitting the devil, and it's on YouTube for free. So for those watching.
Nice. Let's see. The first book I ever read was How to Win Friends and Influence People. I read that when
Mhm.
I was like 18 years old. That book changed my life. I was like, oh wow, like these guys are all smart. Okay, like I can do this. I think that was like the base of me, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And then I come to find out that there's a bunch of other books that reference that book. There's another book that was huge for me. I can't remember the name. I'm blanking right now. I think I'm nervous.
That's all right. There's
But
you'll find it, but there's one also for those because honestly, masculine development, understanding what a man is and how to become the best man, especially because a lot of contractors listening are men. Even if you're a woman, like how this is something that you can give to your partner, your husband, or whatever it might be, or yourself to take some masculine traits. Is Hard Times Create Strong Men by Stefan Arnio. I'm not sure if you've ever read that book, bro. That
yeah,
is the book I've read the most out of anything. That's what I gift my door-to-door reps when they come in. That and The Greatest Salesman in the World. But even Rashid, he just came out of the office there, going back to do some calling. He's now our appointment setter. When he first came in, I was like, dude, I made a company Audible, gave him the password, downloaded Hard Times, and then he would let me know every week like what he's learning from the book. And
nice.
it's excellent book, man. It because especially nowadays, a lot of young men are getting trapped in this kind of feminine agenda and are losing the thumos, which is like with Greek, the fire in the belly that
Mhm.
it is to be a man and to like go for everything you want in your life and like hold standards and be assertive and be confident and have faith and have boundaries and parameters around your way. And that's how I see you, dude. And that's how I see you. So it's like really inspiring to see.
I see you the same way. Yeah, honestly, like I think that is like yeah, I agree. Like I feel like this I don't know if it's the generation. I feel like every new generation blames the old generation, but or the newer generation, but
Mhm.
I don't know. There's just something weird going on right now. I'm like, I get kind of surprised by how some men react, and like I just try and kind of help them, I guess you could say. But I don't know.
Mhm.
Like, and Rich Dad Poor Dad is a great book, right? It's just kind of a classic. But that book really changed my perspective on like, okay, well, how do rich people act? How do poor people act? And rich people
Mhm.
aren't actually the evil people like you kind of grow up just thinking they are.
Mhm.
And they're actually very smart and good people, just from my personal experiences of meeting all these millionaires.
Mhm.
There's a bunch of other books though. But yeah, I agree with exactly what you're saying. I think that is the key. The key
Mhm.
for you as a man. When I read that book, I was going through a breakup. This was years ago, like 5 years ago now. And this is kind of on a more just personal level, but I'll share in case anyone can relate. But I thought that I wasn't the problem in that breakup. And then I
Mhm.
came to find out that, oh, I wasn't being an actual man.
Mhm.
And then I have my new girlfriend now, and things are going great. And I think that book shaped me. With that previous experience, shaped me to become like the man I am. And I do think I'm a great man with my girlfriend. We're still here, happy and battling just life together. And I think, and that actually just brings me to another point. I think like your girlfriend, your wife, your woman says so much about you as a man. And not to be just judgmental, but that's important.
Mhm.
You need
No,
to have a good
100%.
woman by your side supporting you.
Yeah. No,
So
100%. I've had clients that have gotten divorces throughout their business, and I've seen it. And I could see it happening from our first onboarding call where she's nagging him in the background of how he's wasting money on the business and how, all these things that are just not really supportive. And you want someone that will have faith in you, but it's also as you as a man to keep your word. Because if you keep not you keep promising your girl or your partner something and keep breaking that word, of course they're going to resent you and not believe in what you're saying. So it goes both ways, man. It's good to always take responsibility. I love that multiple times so far. You've taken responsibility for everything about your estimator's not working out. Both of them take responsibility. You take responsibility for your life, and that's the power finger. You can point it, hey, that's his fault, or I could say it's my fault. Who has the power? If I point myself, I got the power to make a change. But if I
Mhm.
give the responsibility somewhere else, you're done, right?
I
Um,
love it. Yeah.
Good stuff, dude. So what are some softwares, some like systems that you have found and used that has really helped your company? And this is going to be for guys that are, listening in, that might be a nice little gold nugget for them.
Yeah,
Other than ChatGPT.
that's the biggest one. But okay, so in terms of softwares, I think that Drip Jobs is a great software, honestly. Just my experience right now, we're still small. So I think that Drip Jobs is really easy to understand, and it really helps you get the point across of like being a professional painting company. It has everything in it. You can build, it has your CRM of all your leads. You can follow up with those leads. You can build estimates. You can even produce the job, and you can even see how much money you're making on each job.
And you
So
can
I think that's
invoice.
pretty good software. I'll give them a little thing here.
Dude, every person so far I've asked that question said drip jobs so far.
Yeah.
And it's not even just for painting, like I got guys in landscape or fencing, and you can change the production rates and you can do it for any home service. So it's great software.
Yeah, I think that Drip Drops is good. Let's see what other software. So we just implemented Sales Rabbit. That one is a huge one for us because canvassing is the base of our business. We actually don't do any marketing
Mhm.
apart from canvassing, but we're about to start doing the FBS finally.
Mhm.
But so Sales Rabbit is really good. It's kind of expensive. It's $90 a person, but it's really good because it tracks every single door knocked, what the result on that door was, or if it didn't open. And then as the years and time goes and we send and we re-hit those areas, all that data is there. Okay, so this guy was a B lead 6 months ago. Let's see if we can get him an A lead now. All the
Mhm.
notes are there. Instead of sending like Steven just to the same area, he's like, oh, I remember I knocked this, and I think this person said this last time. It's all tracked now.
Mhm.
And then we can also track doors knocked to estimates to close or to sit and to close. I think
Mhm.
that estimate to sit is big, or demo, in other words.
Yeah, it's really
It's
important.
big. And so that's what we're trying to find out. Okay, so this guy got 100 A leads this month, but we only sat 20 of them.
Mhm.
Okay. But Steven got 50 and we sat all 50. Why
Mhm.
is that? What's the
Mhm.
difference? How are they pre-qualifying the leads at the door? And so
Mhm.
we're really just diving in on canvassing. Like we have a real big opportunity to like build something huge and give opportunities to a bunch of new canvassers. And so that's kind of our main thing right now. We just use a bunch of other softwares. I don't even know half of them,
No,
but
that's great, man. And even just to jump in on the canvassing there, because that's how I built my company, just off boots on the ground, door knocking. It's the old school way that everyone's going online, everyone's competing on ads. And if you can go back into the old way of the art of prospecting, knocking on doors, you get back to direct to consumer. Like they don't see 100 door knockers a day. They might see one a month, and depending on where they live. And it's just like instant. You can build instant rapport, get the lead instantly, go direct to the exact houses that you want to work on. That's how Tyler is. He almost hit $1 million month this month. Tyler from Powers Construction. He started at 80K, joined Trade Launch. We got him 2 million first year. Now he's close to doing his first $1 million month off
wow.
canvassing and
Wow.
Facebook ads. But the canvassing is the pillar because when you add Facebook ads on top, we've had people that have seen our ads and then we knock on their door like same day and they're like, "Oh, I just saw you guys online." But boom, rapport is built. Now it's a really interesting metric. What you're saying is going from getting those A leads to getting those sits. We just had a meeting about this yesterday, looking at our data and seeing that certain reps have a way higher sit rate, certain reps have way more A leads but less sits. And what we determined is it's the rapport built at the door. Like
Mm,
getting them to fall in love with you, the canvasser. Like Steve, you could tell he has good rapport. He knows the stuff. He's confident. He understands. He probably doesn't just make it a transaction at the door to get the estimate. He talks to them. He understands what they want for the project. Like shows interest. And now they're more likely to pick up that phone, schedule that appointment, or show up actually on the estimate, or more likely to be there because they love the company. They love the person that talked to their door. They think they were interested in them, so now they're interested in them. Like if Steve is interested in the client, now the client's interested in Steve and the company. So that was the biggest thing is time spent at a lead. You get an A lead, how much time do you spend at that door to build rapport and talk? That is one of that's the metric that allows higher sits. typically,
Yeah.
and also weeding out the ones that maybe just aren't even meant to be an A lead or meant to be a sit or an estimate. Um,
Yeah.
cool, man. So
Good info.
you're going on your journey, you're running your business, you're handling fires, what is one of the biggest fires that you've had to overcome so far in your business journey, aside from quitting your job?
What are the biggest fires? Let's see. So we've had like three already in like the last year, like three big ones. So the first one was July of last year. I had that old estimator, but I had like the estimator and project manager thing where it's not just an estimator, just a project manager. I think you remember this actually.
Mhm.
And and then by the end of the July, I think that she was just so busy and I had to just leave work because I just had my daughter. And so I left work for a little bit. I was checking in, but not as much. And that was just huge because it went from like, okay, we're like trajectory like this to August, whew, just literally crashed. I had to fire every single person in that company because just the whole culture got destroyed. I wasn't there to hold the culture accountable for like a whole month. And and then the estimator project manager, I'm not blaming her because she was working like 12, 14-hour days, holding the
Mhm.
business. And this is not her business, so it's not her job to do that. Um,
So what was a takeaway from that fire?
Yeah, the takeaway was that I just can't step away like that yet. Like and just the biggest thing was just actually just delegating the business and creating actual leaders that will step up when the business owner leaves. Not
Mhm.
they're like, okay, he's not here watching, we can just kind of fool around.
Right.
So,
And also key man risk. So key man risk is when you
oh,
put too many
yes.
things into one person. Now, if that you rely on everything in that one person. So if they leave, you lose three positions in one. And when I went to do some work with Alex Hormozy, he literally put a unicorn on the board. And he's like, a lot of you guys have unicorn employees, or you as the business owner is a unicorn employee. What we need to do is we need to dissect the unicorns. We need to take off the sparkles, remove the horse, and take off the horn. The horn, maybe that's just recruiting. The horse, maybe that's production management. The sparkles, maybe that's sales. But if you try to put that all into one person, you have a unicorn employee, and especially if you go to sell your company, you have a unicorn employee, that automatically devalues your business because that person leaves, your company's done. And
Yeah.
you saw that firsthand. So I know
Yep.
now we got Steve, instead of him, Steve doing estimates and door to door, Steve's doing recruiting, building the door to door team. And he's getting, and what I love about what you do is you really compensate your team well for their position. So I want you to dive into that for canvassing. Like, there's so many ways to pay canvassers. There's hourly, there's little bonuses for a demo sit, but you go just commission off close. How have
Yeah.
you seen that, motivate your team, and how much money have you seen your team make? Like some testimonials from your team in that
Yeah.
position.
So yeah, I just paid Steven just literally now, and he's at his biggest month yet. So he works about 5 hours a day. With a little bit of recruiting here and there, and I just and it's not even the end of the month that he's made about $6,500 this month already. It's pretty good money.
Great money, bro.
Pretty good money. He's 23
Great
years
money.
a year ago. Um, but yeah, so I structure so the way I structure it is 5% straight off the sale.
For the
If
for the
you're
door-to-door rep.
For the door-to-door rep. Yeah, so 5% straight off the sale. There's no base or anything like that. Um, yeah, just get leads and we're gonna close them. Our numbers are this. Our numbers are at 50% closing percentage. If you bring me two, I'll close one of them. Pre-qualified leads. That's the key word. Because it's easy to go and get a bunch of C leads, B leads, and like, oh, I was swing by to just give you an estimate. Well, what project is this guy even looking at? He doesn't even
Mhm.
have a project. He's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, you guys said you would give one for free. But pre-qualified leads, I'll close half of them, and you can do easy math on that. And that's pretty much exactly where we're at month to month. Just 40 to 50%, 40 to 50%. 40 maybe on the winter months when it's a little bit harder, and 50% when it's hotter. Um, but yeah, that's my structure. It's 5%. I pay my estimators. Well, I'm gonna pay my estimators straight off commission. I pay my project manager heavily on gross profit. Her job is to manage material spend, to manage how much are we actually spending on the job itself, and how much are we paying our subcontractors. Now that creates a little bit of a difficulty because we don't want to pay our subcontractors too little, just to the point that they're unhappy. And so then she'll report back to us, raise your prices, raise your prices, raise your prices.
Mm.
So we actually have a pretty crazy goal. I think I'll share this little secret of ours, and you as a coach, as a boss, you can say if this is smart or not. But this is just kind of what we're working on right now on the production side. We're trying to get our net profit to 40%. It's ridiculously high, right? Um, but a perfect net profit for us is 30%. And we actually just had a job where we had to pay so much more, and we were like freaking out. We're like, why are we paying this much? But I did underbid the job. Anyways, by the end of it, we're still at 20% net on that specific job after materials and labor, and the subs are getting paid well and stuff. So that's something we're huge on. We are not the cheapest company by any means. Our competition are the companies that have been here for 40 years, that have a lot of overhead and stuff like that. Now, we are a little bit less than those companies, but with that being said, we're able to pay our subs really good money, while in percentage wise, it's still pretty low. We're able to pay the Valentina, the PMs, very good money as well, and then the canvassers and estimators make even more off that.
I like that, man. I like that you're very team first. You're like, I remember asking you called me, you're like, dude, how do I get my PM to make 100K a year? Like, how do I do that? And I love those questions. It's like you just think
Yeah.
about the team and how they can make money. And I'm the same way. Like that's how you motivate the team. It's like, look, this is how much like I want you to make. Like my goal this year is for you to make this amount of money. Because then in return, if the comp structure makes sense and the profit makes sense, that will in turn obviously make you money. But then now you become this like coach that's pushing these guys to perform and make the money that they want to make. So they don't feel like they're just working for you. They're working for themselves in the umbrella of your business. And that's why I love the way you structure commission, gross profit commission. That's the same thing we do here. Now I want to go into the question. So obviously we're pretty connected here at Trade Launch. So we got guys doing 15 million, we got guys doing, 2 million, 3 million. We got a lot of guys in the seven figures, multi seven figures, even the eight figures. What do you need right now? Like if someone was listening to this, because this is going to go to the Trade Launch community, they're going to hear this podcast. What's something that you might need, or just some maybe a tool or resource or like information that they can give you to help you kind of get that missing piece that you need to do whatever you're trying to do?
What do I need? I think more time. I wish if the days were longer. That would
Mm,
be great.
yeah,
Um,
sure. Who can do that?
I think what do I need? I think what I'm really focused on right now is just how to make the best SOPs, how to make the best data, and how do I get my team to track it and update it every
Mm,
single day. I think that's like the main thing I'm focusing on right now. So what do I need? Like maybe just like the whole sheet, like all the data. Because you hear like just guys like Tommy Mello,
mm,
they're talking about things like abandonment rate and disqualification rate. I'm like, what? You're like you're calculating how many of your leads don't get touched and you just get abandoned. Like that's crazy.
mm,
There's so much data, and the more data, the more clear it seems like you can run a business.
mhm,
And I think that's what I need. Like, I just need all the data. Like, what
mm.
data can I get? Okay, I'll get my team to do it. I got a couple great admins that will get after it. I don't know if that's
Beautiful. No, that's
answering your
great, man. That's great. Someone will, and I'm already thinking of some stuff I can send you, but someone will hear that for sure. Especially, I know Josh with Albright Painting. I have him on later today. They're doing 15 to 17 mil. I met him. He actually was on the big screen at the Vault at the PVD conference. It's one of their top students in the same industry you're in. So I can connect you guys, and I'm sure he can help you out with that. Um, what's the best piece of advice you've received or read or heard that has helped you in scaling your company?
These are trick questions. What's the best piece of advice?
That's a true question.
It's just like I've gotten so much advice. Like I meet so many people all the time. I think probably the best piece of advice is I love this quote. Starting a business and running a business is like jumping from a plane and building a parachute on the way down. It's something along the lines of that, right?
Hmm, hmm,
Or building a plane on the way down. That just makes me feel like, okay, I'm on the right path.
hmm,
Because it gets really hard. And like April was a pretty hard month for us. And then we bounced back and now we're having a record month?
hmm,
So, like, it is so hard in that moment mentally. Like, I've had thoughts of like, should I even continue to do this? Am I meant to do this? And then a couple of days after, I'm like, I am. Like, I'm gonna
hmm,
build the best business ever. And that is just proves that I'm on that right path. I don't know. I
Yeah, that
think
was that was Brandon Vaughn. That was Brandon Vaughn. He runs Hirebus, Rise Coatings, 30 something mil a year. Excellent speaker, great guy. But he's like, yeah, running a business is like jumping off a cliff and building the airplane on the way down. And that hit me too. I remember I was in the room when he said that.
yeah,
And that's the value of being in these rooms with these people, right? Um,
yeah.
Final question here before we wrap up. If you could go back in time to the Kevin starting his business, you got the world in front of you. You also got the fear of fucking going broke and with your kids behind you. What is a piece of advice you give to that Kevin when he first started his company?
There's a piece of advice that I give to that Kevin. Um, enjoy it. I'm still enjoying it. Enjoy it. Learn as much as possible. Be a little bit more humble. You're
Mm,
still at the beginning and you're still learning. Uh, Stay confident, but just be humble and listen more than you talk. That's a good one.
mm.
Listen more than you talk. Learn as much as possible. Learn as much as possible and learn as much as possible. Humble, head down. That is just the key.
Love it, bro.
I
Love it,
think
man.
that's the key. I want
100%.
to touch base real quick, just
Mhm.
on the Andy Elliott. Andy Elliott is a sorry, I don't know if you can hear that,
All
but
good,
Andy
bud.
Elliott, I think is a really important guy, and I really like how he says you got to lead from the front, lead from the front, wear your heart on your sleeve. I think that's so important.
Mm,
I don't know what's going on here.
100%. Good stuff, man. Anything else? Any final remarks? Final little tips that you want to give to the audience here? I know we're gonna have you on again.
Any final little tips? I think, let's see. I don't know. I think like everything just seems so impossible until you actually do it. And
Mhm.
then like the more you grow, the more you realize how small you are and how much more you have to go. And I don't know if people struggle with this. Like I guess I'm not necessarily talking to anyone specifically here, but you just need to believe in the process. You can do whatever the fuck you want in this world, and you need to believe that. But that doesn't mean it's going to be easy or anything. Like I actually embrace the like when it's tough because that's what makes it worth it. That's what
Mhm.
makes the story even better, and that's what differentiates you from someone else that's doing it. But just put your head down, believe, learn, and keep pushing. I think that is just so important, and you cannot give up because
Yeah.
I could have given up many times, but every time that I don't give up, I get better. And like I'm excited to continue to fail more, make more mistakes. Like I just can't wait. Every single time I make another mistake, if I learn from it, which I know I will, I would just get better. And that is just so important to me. So that's my
Dude,
final tip of the day.
I love that. That's one of our core values in 519, like our painting company. It's the letter O, and it stands for outwork, outcare, outlearn, and outlast the competition. Because everyone in our industry is going through the same problems if they're trying to scale. And it's just like you said, you'll see that problem as an opportunity. I see every problem that pops up, there's a money sign on it. It's like, okay, this is another boss to beat. If I beat that, I have another edge in the competition. Because as there's a race, there's 100 people, 100 contractors running this race. One's gonna get stopped from the first problem. One will get stopped from the second, third. It's not even like it's just how long can you go and
Mhm,
keep learning and keep going. That's it. If you have faith, if you have humbleness to learn and realize you don't know it all, and you have the ability, the drive to just outwork and outlast, you could do anything in this world.
mhm.
And it just all comes from seeing opportunity or seeing problems as opportunities. So I
Yeah.
know you probably prayed for strength in your life, and I've
Mhm.
prayed for strength, and you probably just got more shit to deal with. And that's what
Yeah.
it comes down to. It's never going to be easy.
No.
So love it, man. This fire pod. This is my favorite one so far. Um,
Go, baby.
but yeah, bro. No, we vibe for sure. I'm excited to keep working with you. Let's get these sales guys going while you're remote, dealing with life as it comes. And thanks for coming on,
Yeah.
bro.
It's a new challenge, bro. Let's fucking go, baby.
Let's
Let's go.
go. Okay. Peace out, bro.
Hey,
Thanks for
thank
coming
you,
on.
bro. Peace out.